Hey, welcome back. So, I am very excited. I was getting a little, feeling like I was getting beat up by this game. Like it just has such a low probability of ever being beaten. However, I have absolutely wonderful viewers, and there was 3 comments that were made last night or this morning. I don't know when you guys made them, but they were absolutely amazing, and it completely changed my optimism about this game, and of course it showed how Jeff gets stuff wrong. So there's some things that, anyways, let's start off with, I said that there was 1 million viewers, and maybe there's just 4, and one person did respond and said that he's one of the million, so it made me laugh a lot, so thank you. I do try to read as many of them as I can. Sometimes I don't get notification when people post, and then there's times I get notification that someone posted, and then I go to the video and I don't see the comment there anymore. So maybe it's because you guys changed your mind and deleted it or whatever. But anyways, it's a little wonky sometimes, so I don't always see everybody's posts. But I did see that one, and I definitely wanted to, I don't remember your name, and I apologize. I don't even remember my kids' names most of the time. But I just wanted to say it made me laugh, and thank you. Now, the other 2 posts were rules related, and thank you so much. So I've been making 2, I don't know, relatively large mistakes, I would say, and it's on the history card, both of them. So I've been ignoring the history card. So we've been, this obviously works, and then the victory check works, but then there's this thing in the middle I've been ignoring. So I'm going to start at the bottom because this one's easier. That North instruction G goes into the success draw cup after the first passage of time. I think we've had 3 passages of time so far. So I've played 2 eras, if you'll allow me to call it that, without this in there. And so what that is that's a war. And so it is possible now, because this is going to go into the success cup. So it is possible we would have drawn that at some point along the way. So would that have changed the game? Yes. Would it have changed the game in a way that was going to ruin our current playthrough? No. I mean, it's really hard to predict how it would change our game. What it would have caused is maybe possibly a war column to appear. But we're just going to put it in now and keep going. Okay, I can't go back and fix that. However, there is one other thing, though, that I still don't know how to fix it. But this one, holy cow, thank you for whoever pointed this out. And it was funny because it was 2 different people commenting to me. One only mentioned this and the other one only mentioned that, and I was actually missing both. The enemy recover instructions succeed. Now, recover is when they remove the ravage tokens. It succeeds only on a die roll of a 1 to 3. If they roll a 4 to 6, they spend the APs, but nothing actually happens. Oh my gosh, that changes the game. I've been playing this thing on super hard mode. And just in case some of you are confused, it's this situation. So we had, 2 ravage tokens on that enemy settlement, right? And then it's their turn, and the first action they do says recover, so we would remove 1. The second action we did would recover, and then we would remove 1. And then they'd have a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th action, and then they're settling. They're putting settlements everywhere. This war column exists. Well, what it's saying is there's a 50% chance that it doesn't even get removed. So it may take 6 actions in order for them to remove 2 ravage tokens. It's possible. So I've been playing this thing extra hard. I don't know how to fix this, folks. I mean, I could maybe assume that 50% of the time they would have failed, but then what do? I mean, I can't reverse things like putting down settlements or creating war columns. What I can do possibly is maybe give myself 2 military points back because, chances are we wouldn't have been attacked so quickly. I could remove that settlement that's in northern Arkansas because I definitely hammered that settlement with ravage tokens, and at some point they had to have, it had to have made it through. I honestly don't know how to fix this. If I do either of those things, like if I just destroy a settlement of theirs, or if I give myself 2 military points, I do think it might be a fair resolution But I can't say or promise you that that's how it would have played out. Like this game would have, it's really difficult to go back and reverse this. So just understand though that this is huge. That's a big error on my part, and please accept my apologies. And it was right there for me to read. I just never read it. So what do we do? We're currently satisfying the victory condition, but we're on the verge of getting crunched from 2 war columns that are 3 strength each. It is possible we can survive both of these war columns, but it's going to be tough. I do think that given these rules, the game would be a lot easier. Like, we would have had a lot more successes. I would have been able to remove more settlements. So when the culture action comes against us, it wouldn't hurt us as much. I think a lot of things would have gone our way. I truly don't know what the best way to handle this is. Just give me a second. I should have figured this out before I hit record, shouldn't I? That would have been a smart thing to do. There's a part of me that's like, maybe I should just start over and, just take another crack at it. There's another part of me that just says, oh, screw it, just keep playing. And now we know the rules. So what stinks is we probably will do a victory check at the end of this passage of time. So I'll never really get to benefit from this at all. So yeah, when we look at the next history card, yeah, look at the next one. The next one's just as good. The enemy recover instructions succeed only on a die roll of 1 to 3. So it is going to continue into the next era, or next history period. So that part's good. In fact, when it gets to the third one, it's still there, but it just gets a little bit more in the enemy's favor. And then the final one is still there. So yeah, the removing of ravage counter tokens is not as easy as I've been making it out to be. So I probably need to put an errata in as well, because that's a big one. I think new players, if they miss this, that would hurt them a lot. So huge thank yous to both of you. I know you were both pointing to the same place, and I think all I needed was one of you to point me here, and I probably would have figured out the other one. But the fact that both of you did that was huge. I was absolutely missing this. I don't know how long it would have taken me to figure it out, too. I guess what we'll do is, I'm tempted to give myself some kind of perk. So 2 thoughts are going through my mind. I can remove their war bands. So everything stays as is, but I'll remove their war bands so that way at least I'm not on the verge of getting attacked. Because you can argue that since those ravage tokens were there, that would have eaten up a bunch of their actions. So it's possible a warband would not have been formed. That's a very easy argument to make. I very much would like to get rid of that settlement because then I can take control of a region. But I'm going to just leave it at that. We'll just get rid of the warbands and put the war token back. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Warbands are going to go away. We'll put the token back, and we'll just let the chips fall however they fall from here on out. So that's at least mildly fair to resolve this. Okay, so we actually did one action. We gave ourselves culture points. We actually have 6 culture points. So we're starting a new round. There's no war columns because we just removed them. And that is a big boon to us to have that. And so let's start putting ravage tokens out because remember, that was my strategy, right? We were putting ravage tokens on people. And as long as they have ravage tokens, they can't execute their instructions. And if they can't execute their instructions, they're not going to war with us. They're not doing bad things to us like culture. That's still, to me, the dominant strategy in this game, is you need to raid the crap out of them. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to raid. Now, we're going to do an action, and here's where it gets tricky. We have a C Rancheria, a B, and an A. Obviously, the B is in control. The C is next to an enemy, but this enemy is an ally right now. So if they do create a warband, it's not going to be from there. So I think we're going to activate the A Rancheria. And the A Rancheria, as you can see, is in a bit of a pickle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, but our Paraibo is only at medicine level 1, and our medicine guy is at a 0 because he died. Crap. How do we, okay, so let's do this. I rolled a 6, so he's a 3. So we're going to say he didn't die. Oh yeah, because we lost a whole unit from that. Yeah, so many things got impacted because they were able to do what they did. All right, so our Paraibo is only a strength of 1. And so that means we can only send out 1 unit. And, excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay, so we're going to send out the 1 strength unit. Or should we do the 3? I want to put Ravage tokens on them. So we're going to send out the 1 strength unit with a horse and a bob. And we're going to spend 2 movement points to go out and back, and we're going to attack the enemy settlement. Oh, hold on. The west square enemy space is treated as a peace space. Players may not conduct raid or warpass actions in west square enemy space. The square, yeah, let me make sure. That was the other rules question. Is the west square enemy space just a square, or does it mean all enemy spaces that belong to that square? So I'm getting sort of confused. I think it's just the square, but I want to make sure. Yeah, it says square spaces do not have any territory and have no value. And that's different than a map space. So yes, we can raid the settlement. We just can't raid the square space. And I'm okay with that. That square space is too far away anyways. All right, so we're going to spend 2 movement points. We start with 6. We're going to spend 2 movement points to go out and back. So that means we get to do 4 raids. And we're going to do 4 raids with a level 3 Bob, because I restored the Bob with my spirituality card. So that was one other thing I had to reverse, because Bob was dead. All right, so let's roll for Bob. And I rolled a 2. So things are already looking up. That's going to give us 1 extra draw. So we get to draw 2, because we only have a strength 1 unit. I opted for the more movement points. So we're going to draw 2. And that's not a good draw. So I already got enemy action points. And so now we're down to 3 raids. I rolled a 2. We get to draw 2. And there we go. We got 2 successes. It would have been nice if those were separated, but that's okay. 1 Ravage token goes on the settlement. And yeah, now that this rule is in place, I can't say it enough. I want to actually start over because I think this game would be a lot easier. But yeah, let's just keep going. We put the Ravage token on, and we got 2 successes. So I'm going to actually take, because we lost a lot of horses when that Bob died. I didn't bother reversing that. So I'm going to take 2 horses, because I don't even have enough to cover all my guys. All right, so let's keep going. We now have 2 more raids. Oh, I get 2 extra, so I get to draw 3 this time. So 1, 2, and 3. So 2 more successes. And this time I'm going to take 2 captives. And then the last one, I rolled a 1, so I get to draw 3 again. 1, 2, 3, APs, APs, and APs. So we didn't, and I forgot to put the second Ravage token out. So now we made it home, and we got all this stuff. It would have been nice to get one more success. Now, the big thing here is I'm going to probably lose this unit because he's a 1 strength unit and he's finished. And you can see here I'm going to do a whatchamacallit, a plan action, because this is only a 1 strength per IBO and it needs to move up. Okay, so we're done with that. Now let's see if they get a free action. They're only going to get a free action if they roll 1. They rolled a 3, so we're good there. Next is we're drawing for them. So they drew 2 more APs. And just for curiosity, I don't know what happens when we draw, what happens if we draw it's like, what happens if we draw that war thing? Yeah, so if it's an instruction, most of the time we just resolve it straight up. So, okay, so an enemy is going to get to do a lot of stuff here. So let's figure out who that's going to be. That was on the table. So it's a 2. It's going to be the north enemy. So they are going to get to do a lot. There's no Ravage tokens on them. So first thing they're going to do is 2 action points to hunt. And I'm going to roll a die, and I rolled a 2. So the 2 is Lower Arkansas. So they're going to take this bison right here. Then they're going to, I think it's encroach, 4 enemy, and let's find out what encroach does for them. Okay, roll a die to determine which territory will receive the tribe counter. Place the available tribe counter to a space in that territory, its player's choice. Any bison is returned to stock. Must comply with stacking. If the territory does not contain a space, place it in the next higher die roll. If there's not a space on the map where it can receive a counter, then we do a hunt instead. I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, so I rolled a 6, which the good news is that's not anywhere near us. So that's this green area down here. And so what that's saying is that this enemy tribe is going to appear on an empty green area, and we can put it right there on Rio Grande, and that'll slow down the yellow player a bit. Just 1 turn, but it slows them down some. And then here you can see they're going to spend 3 for an ally. So we're going to put an ally out, and I'm going to put it, oh, should I put it up there? No, I don't know if I want to. We'll go ahead and put it way down here. All right, next is another hunt for 3. And so I'm gonna roll a die, and I rolled a 2. So that is Lower Arkansas. So the last bison in Lower Arkansas is going away. And then a raid for 3. And that, I believe, is going to create a warband. So we're going to grab a 3-strength warband, and it's going to be the closest one. So it will actually be this one up here. Like so. All right, and then everything goes. They don't have a lot of actions. And then these 4 go into their pool. So they actually have 5 action points now, no matter what we do next turn. Okay. Having a Pribo with a high value would have been very nice so we can get extra actions. But we are now in the war column phase, and we have to, since they have a war band, or war column, I mean, we gotta activate here. So the north is moving 1 space. So let's put this down real quick, and they're going to move 1 space to here. Oh, I forgot to move the operations track one for the culture, and then one for the action we just did. So it should have moved twice by now. All right, and then we're gonna roll to see if they get reduced. It's a 3. Do they reduce on a 3 or do they reduce on a less than 3? Let me check. It has to be less than 3, so they don't reduce. And then we come here, countermeasure. After a band possessing one or more captives is marked as finished, we can spend them to end the war. So we can move a band there and just end the turn there, and it would end the war. That would save us some military points for certain. So I may want to consider that. We still have 2 more turns before the round ends. There's a part of me that wants to make sure we have to do a planning step. If we don't do a planning step, that's ridiculous on our part. I think it would be nice to do a trade. So the risk we're running is we're going to get attacked if we plan and that guy moves again. If we do a action, I can only send one guy out because it's Rancheria A. I mean, I can try to send one out from Rancheria C, but I think I have to plan. As much as I would like to do something about that war band, I can't. And if he comes into our camp, we're just going to do battle and we're going to lose 1 military point. We have 1 military point now. That'll put us to 0. But if we plan, we're going to get to do military points. So I'm going to go ahead and plan. So it's not ideal, but I think somebody commented that this is like spinning a bunch of plates. And it is true. I mean, that's why I said it's like a state of siege game. State of siege is you're constantly, you got enemies coming from multiple directions, and you're constantly, you push back one direction and you finally get the wall back in place, and then they come from another direction. Pavlov's house actually plays a lot like this as well. That's a pretty neat game if you guys have never played Pavlov's house. My son Jason absolutely loves to play it. It's a very nice, it's a light game, but there's a lot of really cool thinking, and there's some deep strategy to it. And it's actually quite hard to win. I think I only ever won once, and I'm not even sure I did it right. So it's a very hard game, but very easy to play. And maybe I'll get that to the table someday. Okay, so everybody mark all in-play bands as unfinished. Mark all in-play bands. Okay, yeah. Unfinished means flip over. No, that's passage of time. I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, each Bob with at least 1 success gets a success point. Done. So then we're gonna go and transfer 1 to the Paraibo, and then 1 to the operation track, and he goes up 1. 1 to the Paraibo, and 1 to the operation track, he goes up 1. So we now have a level 6 Bob. And every Rancheria can conduct 1 headman action or attempt to take more than 1 if they roll a die. I skipped a step, hold on. This moves him up by 2, and then these go to out of play. Okay, so here's the deal. We could roll a die. The problem is that this is a 50-50 to get more than 1 action. How many more actions do you get? It depends on what the value is of your roll. So I already argued that it's not worth it to roll, especially for these 2, because if you roll, you would have to roll a 2 to get 2 actions. Otherwise, you're rolling a 1 to get 1 action, and you already have 1 action guaranteed. So same argument here. I still think it's a low odds roll to get extra actions. So we're just going to get 3 actions because we have 3 Paraibos. So that's the one nice thing about having 3 Rancherias, is this planning step gives us 3 things to do. Now we can reduce their strength by 1 to get to get 1 AP. We don't need to do that. We're at 4 APs right now. We can spend an AP to buy a development card, so we'll check that in a second. And we can spend an AP to put those successes back in the cup. Not always a bad idea, if you have a lot of APs, of course. And here, if the culture is greater than military, we're going to convert one culture into military. And I think that's what we're going to do. But let's see. This lets you cancel a die roll or success check draw. Otherwise, it's going to make the passage of time go by 2. The passage of time is already on a 4, so I'm pretty sure we're going to do a victory check anyway. So I would take this to prevent the passage of time from moving, but I don't care if it moves at this point. I think it doesn't matter. And then this one is the ability to risk. So we get to keep this card, and we can like basically risk movement points, and then we have to roll a die, and we could possibly keep this card. So it would help us to get like movement points when we need it in a dire situation. It seems pretty cool, but right now I don't want to lose the game. So I'm going to spend 3 culture points. 1, 2, 3, and go up. Well, hold on. I'm going to spend 1, go up 1. Spend 1, go up 1. Yes, spend 1 to go up 1. You can only spend culture points if you had more than the military, so I wanted to make sure. So now we're at 3 culture, 4 military. I really like that position because we can do another culture action now and shoot right on up. But I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Oh, sorry, the planning step's not over yet. Let's go back. Okay, so we have to roll a die for every Bob that has a medicine rating of 0. So like when our Bob was dead, we could have theoretically done this to get the Bob back. All finished bands have their strength reduced by 1. So like I said, we're going to lose this one strength band. And we may move our rancherias. The enemy gets to execute 1 free instruction. And then we roll a die for the operation counter. So how do we want to move our rancherias? Well, the B rancheria has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strength points. So we could really move him if we want. Right now he's here. So for example, I can move him all the way down to here and then get some nice rating going this way. I think for as long as the A rancheria is busy fighting things, I want to keep B safe. So B being there is fine for now. If anything, I may want to move B here so that way we can hunt if we wanted to. I'll leave him here for now. Okay, the C would be nice to move, but there's nowhere to move to. And then, of course, the A is right on the brink of battle there. So I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to move the operation marker before I forget. And then that causes this success to go into the cup. And then they're going to do their free instruction. So the enemy gets to do a free instruction. It's a 5, which is the west. And then I rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The subjugate becomes a war. And their free instruction is going to be this guy for 5. It would have been nice if they would have to spend APs for this. And as you know, we now have this thing where he's going to remove a ravage marker, but it's only going to be on a 1, 2, or 3. So let's roll. And boom, right there. The ravage marker didn't go away, and the action didn't do anything. So it just goes to show that this game was so much harder with the way I was playing it. Okay. Sorry, it was coffee time. Okay, now, let's see, what's next in our step? They're not going to get any another free instruction because we don't have any finished warriors out there. So now we're drawing from the cup. And we drew 3 enemy APs. So they're going to do APs. I rolled a 4, which is the west again. And I rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That flips right back over again. And then here we go. So this is a piece for 4. So this 3 goes away. And I'm spending 1 off the track. So they have 4 left. So they're going to, since there's no warband out, they're going to actually put a piece out. And no, they're not. They're going to try to remove a Ravage token. That's what they're going to do. So we roll, and this time they succeed. So one of the Ravage tokens does go away. And the next one is 4, and that puts them down to 0 APs. And it's a Settle token, which is going to, once again, be a check. And they do remove the Ravage token. And then this goes up. All right, so here's the gamble I took when I did the, so this warband is coming. It's a concern. We need to be concerned about that warband. What I'm hoping for is if they don't move, and that's a crapshoot on whether they will or won't move. We don't have a clue. If they don't move, I now have 3 spaces here for actions, and I happen to have 3 guys left. And I'm going to be able to reduce the strength of that warband and may even be able to eliminate that warband. And then I'm also going to be able to raid the enemy settlement and put some more Ravage tokens on. So there's a lot of things I'm going to get to do. So I just need to survive this warband stage, which is happening right now. So as long as we don't get a north, like if we get another one that's like this with no north on it, we're going to be great. But this is a tall order, big bucks. So what do? You're supposed to like, what do you have to do to make this not say north? Ding! Hey, it worked. There's no north. All right, this was huge. Okay, that's horseshoe out of the butt huge. Okay, that was a horseshoe with a rabbit's foot tied to it. Nobody moves because there's only a north war column. So now we roll to see if he gets reduced. It would be nice. We rolled 1 2 times in a row. Let's roll it again. That's on the side, and it's a no good. All right. So other than destroying components, he does not get reduced. All right. So now we go here and we get the next one. See that? Look at that. Haha. Countermeasure action. After a band is marked as finished in a space adjacent to a war space, move the war column into that band space, not across dash lines, then place the band into the nearest Comancheria resource box. I think the one mistake this makes is, obviously, if a band is marked as finished, oh, it says in a space. So that would mean a Comancheria is not there. Okay, all right. Well, I don't think we have to worry about that too much, but it's nice to know. Okay, so we are going to do actions. It would be really nice to do a culture action right now, but I think we have more pressing matters. There's a chance passage of time is coming, and we need to get markers out, Ravage markers. So we're going to go ahead and do actions, and we're going to do 3, 1, and 1. It would also be nice to maybe trade. So let's see what we can do. So this one, for sure, is going to go to the enemy warband. And I'll show you what he's going to do right now. Let's just do him first. So we're going to go to the enemy warband, and we're going to play our Lord of the Plains card. Spend 2 magic points while in same space as a war column to reduce the strength of the war column by 1. And if success, return to the draw cup. I'm sorry, that's the question mark stuff. We don't have to worry about the question mark stuff. So we're going to spend 2 movement points to go out and back. So he has 4 left. So we're going to reduce his strength by 2. He's at a 3 now. So now I'm going to reduce him to a 2. And then a 1. So now he's a 1-0. So if he does attack us, we're still going to lose a military point. Because if he makes it to the Comancheria, we lose military points no matter what. But we could theoretically, it's a pretty easy battle to win if he attacks the Comancheria with a 1 strength unit. Okay, so then he's back and he's now unfinished. Now, here's my other dilemma. I have another one. So we can go out and spend 2 movement points and reduce them to 0. So let's try that. So let's play this out. So if I went out, that would be 1 movement point, 2, 3 to reduce them to 0. I can go to 4. I was thinking maybe I could raid. That would be 5. And then for my 6th movement, I would be stuck here outside of the Rancheria. That's not the end of the world to be stuck outside of a Rancheria. We do have 4 action points, so I could activate him. I'm looking something up real quick. Give me a second. Oh, very interesting. There's strategies that are bamboozling my mind here. Okay, so we can spend action points to activate any band, including the ones that are in other Rancherias. So even though I'm activating Rancheria A, I could still get Rancheria B or some other Rancheria to activate. That never crossed my mind before. I consider it blown, mind blown. So now my thoughts are changing. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's just not enough to get back to there. I'm still thinking. Okay, so I'm going to go out and go 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove the war column. I don't want to lose the military point. So we're going to do that. And then he's going to go 4, 5, and we're going to finish our turn in Rancheria C. So he's going to sit in Rancheria C. And in order for him to do that, he would have had to take a horse with him. So I will move a horse over to Rancheria C. Okay, the next guy, and then obviously the first guy used a horse, so I'm making sure I put one underneath him. Now, this last guy is a 3 strength that's going to take Bob and a horse. And we're going to go here and raid this settlement because he needs to be raided. And then we're going to spend action points to activate somebody from Rancheria B, I think. And we're going to try to do maybe a trade or something. Or maybe we can do C. No, it has to be B. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the problem is I don't have enough movement points to do the trade. Well, we'll think about that. So for now, let's get this done. We're going to roll for Bob. Bob is a 6, by the way. So this 3 means we get 2. So we're drawing 5. We're going to give this enemy a lot of action points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we do get 2 successes. And I'm going to take a horse and a captive. And of course, this instruction. Which one do we do? That's interesting. So if we draw it here, it just goes in the available enemy AP slot. All right, so now I'm rolling again. So we're gonna, we get to raid twice. And we put a Ravage token on him. Rolling again. I rolled a 4. And that means we're going to draw 1 extra. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, lots of enemy APs getting added. And we had another success. So we're going to get another horse. And that's it for him. He's done. So now he's going back with Bob, like so. Mark him as finished. So now we have a chance to activate somebody. And I think I want to attack a tribe or do something. Because having 2 Ravage tokens on one enemy settlement with all these action points here is a little scary, because I think they're going to, even if the die goes our way a little bit, it's very possible they're going to remove both. I also wanted to trade, right? Because I got these captives. It'd be nice to convert them into food, but that doesn't seem to be as easy as I was hoping. And if I leave Rancheria B, we're looking at 1, 2, 3 movement points just to get to here. This would be 4, and that would be 5. And I would not get to do any actual raid. It's just basically I'm moving. That's all I'm doing. If I had a 6 movement guy, it would have actually worked out, but I don't. Rancheria B only has 5 movement guys. So that's where this quality mount actually would have helped us. I definitely see its value. So is there anything else I could do? I can do a 1, 2, 3 and raid this one, but he's an ally, right? I can go 1, 2, 3, raid him for 4, and then land in C for 5. That doesn't help much, because then I'm moving to C. If I would have moved B closer, then I could have maybe had a little bit more interaction. I also don't want to mess with this ally. This ally is a 5 strength, so unless we roll a 6, we're not losing that ally. That's what makes that ally so good. And so is it worth activating anybody, right? Because if I'm just moving around, what I could do is I could at least transfer captives, so that way I can use them to, you know, beef my guys up. Tough choices. What I don't think I can do is so if I did attack somebody to leave a Ravage marker, the only way I could pull that off is if I leave my unit outside of a Rancheria. And the B guy is not going to cut it, because B's too far away, but C could do it. So let's try it with C. Yeah, let's do it with C. And then we're probably going to even maybe start a Rancheria. Let's see if that works out that way. When does it get destroyed? It gets destroyed after we're allowed to make a new Rancheria. So it's not going to quite work. All right, so here's where my mind is. I'm sorry if you're not following. There is a 2-5 in the C. So we can go 1, 2, 3 to here, and then attack him here, and put a 1, 2, 3, attack him for 4, and we can even attack him again for 5, right? And put some Ravage markers on him. And the idea was, since he has Ravage markers on him, this would get destroyed, and then we would put a Rancheria there, and now we would have another Rancheria in another zone, which would give us another culture point when we did the culture action. So I was trying to, you know, really think deeply here. But here's the problem. The step in the passage of time where you place the Rancheria is before you check to see if a settlement's destroyed. So it's not going to quite work out as smoothly as I wanted. Now, what I could do, for example, is I could try to move like here, right? So this is easy, 1, 2, 3, and then I can get a Rancheria built there, but I'm not putting down any Ravage markers or anything crazy like that, but I can at least get another Rancheria out. Another cool place would be to do it here. So yeah, there's actually quite a few nice little options there. So we're at the point now where I've used all my guys and I'm deciding if I want to spend my action points. That's why I'm I'm contemplating these things. So, the Ravage tokens, it was, so my goal was to put more Ravage tokens out. So let's do that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 2 action points to activate one guy and 2 to activate another, and watch what I do. So I'm going to activate B. We're going to take this one here, and he's going to take with him a captive and a horse. Should we take Bob with us too? Sure, why not? We'll take Bob with us too. Or Rob. This is Rob. Okay. So we just spent 2 action points, and he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to land here. We don't have the bison, but the bison won't get destroyed. And we're going to create a rancheria here in Colorado. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So that'll give us another culture point later. Now the other one we're going to do is Rancheria C. We're going to grab this guy and a horse and Kabob. So Kabob, him and the horse. And we're not going to take a bison or anything with us. And he has 5 movement points. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to attack for 5 and get a Ravage token there. So by spreading the Ravage tokens out, the enemy, unless we're really unlucky, is likely not going to be able to remove Ravage tokens from 2 different places. So, because one's north, the other's west. So we're going to go ahead and do a raid with Kabob. Kabob rolls a 4, so there's no bonus. But we're going to get to draw 2. Although, there we go. I got a success. I was just realizing there might not be any successes left. And so then Kabob gets a success marker. And we do get to put a Ravage token out here. Now, we're stuck there. So we're going to have to get action points to be able to save him and bring him back home. But that is what it is. So that concludes my action step. Now, what's next? We're going to do free action check. So rolling for Rancheria C, a 1 gives them a free action. Done. 2 doesn't have any free... Rancheria B doesn't have any. Rancheria A has 2 Finnish guys. So a 2 or lower would have given them a free action. Okay, so we survived that. So now I know for certain the enemy can't get rid of all the Ravage tokens. We know that for certain, because it's either going to be north or it's going to be west. It can't be both. And we're going to draw. Oh, nope. Before we do that, we got to roll to see if the passage of time is going to happen. I rolled a 5. The passage of time is not going to happen. So you're going to get another turn. Very interesting. So this success actually goes back in the cup. Okay, now we're drawing for the enemy and their action step. And I drew a success. So this guy is stuck out there. This one, he's stuck out there. But with action points, we can maybe get him home someday. Okay, where am I going? Oh, it's their turn to do actions. So we rolled a 3. It is going to be the west. And I rolled a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So we got 3 enemy APs for subjugate. And so they're going to try to get rid of a Ravage token instead. Let's go roll big. Good, 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 good. Then, welcome to Good Burger. We've got 3 more. Yes, that was excellent. Now we got 3 more. Not so good. Oh, hold on. What does it say? Yep, not so good. All right, so he got rid of 1 Ravage token. That's still pretty good. 3 rolls, and we only lost 1. So now we got to do 3 more. Excelente. 4 more. Excelente. Finally, the dice are working our way. And then this one actually stops. They didn't have 4 action points. So we actually survived that. Now, I haven't forgotten. We got this. So now they're going to get this added to their instruction set. And they actually may get to remove a Ravage token, because that's exactly what they're going to attempt to do. And I rolled a 6, and we survived that as well. That was just icing on the cake right there. So they got a War 6 on there, which is pretty nasty. So that slides up. And the one cool thing about yellow, and I don't know which one was flipped over, but their culture is not showing. And that helps us too, as well. That helps us as well. Everybody keeps correcting me on that. And they are correct. I am wrong. So, okay. That does end the turn, but unfortunately there is no passage of time. So we're moving to the beginning, the war column step. There are no war columns. So it is now our turn to pick an action. So I'm pretty sure that this guy's stuck, and he doesn't get unstuck until the passage of time. So he's in a finished state. And if we choose a Rancheria to activate, it's going to flip all bands in the Rancheria to unfinished, but not the bands outside. The only way we can activate him is we have to spend action points, which we don't have. So how do we get action points? Well, we only get that from doing a planning step, which we could do because we have a lot of successes in the bob tracks. And if we did that, that would get us some action points. And by getting action points, we could theoretically, but the thing is we're at 4. There's a real high chance the passage of time is going to happen, and we're not going to get another action after this. So I don't think we're going to get those action points this quickly. So it means that that guy is going to be stuck out there in Colorado for a while. The other one that's in Colorado, of course, we want to keep him there because we want to make a Rancheria. But we actually have a chance to maybe make another Rancheria, right? We could even... so we got this guy actually came back, and so did him. So Bob came back with some captives and some horses. So we could do an action with these 2 dudes. 2 Utes, and we can get at least 1 action point here, or we can go do some trading, get some food, right? We could, and we can even raid some more if we wanted. I don't know how badly we want to do that because we're going to give them a ton of action points again. But what we could do is we could trade. I like this. This might be a good option. So let's try this. Let's play this out. So this would take 2 movement points to go out and back. And then he would have 2 actions left, so he'd be able to trade 2 captives. This one would be able to go out and back and have 4 movement points left, and he could easily trade 3 captives. Yeah, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take we're going to take Bob and this 3 strength unit with 1 horse, and we're going to go here to build a rancheria. There. And then we're going to, with the other guy, take this, plus a horse, of course, and then we're going to trade 3 captives for 3 food and come back. And actually, it was 2 movement points, plus 3 more is 5. He actually has 1 more movement point. We're going to go ahead and raid, just for good measure. So we're going to trade with them, and then we're going to raid them at the same turn. Oh, it still drives me, it cracks me up. So we're only going to draw 1. So let's hope that we get a good one. I mean, there's probably not that many successes in here, is there? Yeah, let's do it. And we're going to draw. Ha 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 ha. All right, this goes into the out of game. And all the things that weren't going our way yesterday are going our way today. So it just shows that there is a lot of luck to these games. But that second Ravage token, I think, is huge for us. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get control of the region because there's that spot up there in number 1. I would need to raid that one as well. Yeah, I didn't have enough guys or action points to pull that off. Okay, so now I'm done, and we got to do a check. There's 2 of them here that have 1 finished guy, 2 rancherias. So if I roll a 1, they get a free action. And they do. Crap, that hurts. All right, the free action is going to be number 2, which is north. And the number 1 flips over, which was a hunt. The hunt actually was never all that bad. So now they're going to do a free encroach. Because they still have a Ravage token, they're just going to try to remove it. Oh, it was on the side. And they do. So their Ravage token got removed. That hurts. All right, so now we move to the enemy. Oh, I'm sorry. We roll a die now. In fact, this was supposed to happen before even the free instruction. Let's find out if it's going to be a passage of time. So I basically need a 5 or a 6 to prevent passage of time. Oh my gosh. We get another turn. Look at that. So we are going to get another round. I may end up doing, actually we may do a planning step. Why not? All right, so now we're drawing for the enemy, and of course they had to get in, there can't be that many successes left. So we're gonna roll, and this time it's gonna be the west, and number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that becomes war. All right, so 4 enemy action points for peace. Well, the peace is obviously not going to happen. They're going to try to get rid of a token, and they do. Oh, this is going to hurt, because what if they get rid of all their tokens? Okay, and then they have 3 action points left. I know it's not here, but it's on the other track, and this one costs 4, so we sort of got lucky. They're not able to execute another action, so it ends. They do have 1 Ravage token, but now we're in the strange pickle where we have to take another turn. Now, if I do a planning step, I'm going to lose that 1 strength unit that's there in Rancheria A because he's in a finished state. I'm also going to lose the 1 strength unit here in Rancheria C. Both of them are going to disappear on me. And then I will, these 2 will both get reduced to 1 strength, but they would survive. So a lot is going to happen for that planning step. Now, what do I get for that planning step? Well, this Paribo will go up by 2, but then he could easily just get reduced because of the passage of time. We would be able to, we'd be able to get action points. That's really the only reason to do this, is we can get action points by reducing the medicine value and get an action point for it. It's not a super exciting proposition. What are other options? We can get culture points, which never ever hurts. And in fact, I think that's what we should do this turn. The other option is to raid, to get more Ravage tokens out there. But I'm going to go with the culture points. So we have Lower Arkansas, and we have control of it. So that's 2. We have Northern Arkansas for 1. And that's 3, and then that's all we get to do. So maybe I should wait. Because obviously, after the passage of time, if I do a culture point thing, I'm going to get 5 points instead of 3. But if I do 3 now, I can definitely buy a culture card to help us later in the game, right? Maybe we should get that horsemanship, for example. Or maybe we should get this level 3. What's the level 3 Lord of the Plains do for us? A Rancheria in the same space as a war column may just completely evade the war column, so we don't have to lose military points. That's an interesting one. The spirituality ones, this one gives us a new planning action that would increase the Paribo's medicine by 1, but only if we roll a die and, of course, it succeeds. And then here, this is the big one. When we attempt to carry out a headman action, we can roll 2 dice and choose the best one. So why is that important? Well, the headman action are they're very luck based, and we can get a lot more actions if we do that. Yeah, we can get a lot more actions if we do that, which lets us do more with development cards and getting AP points and the whole 9 yards. So, technically I have enough culture points to buy any card I want even now. I don't have to do a culture action. We could say okay, let's look at who do we even have available. We have 1 unit in Ranch A, just 1. We have 2 in Ranch B, which Ranch B is really far away from anything. So we can't raid anybody with Ranch B. And then we have 1 in Ranch C, which could reach somebody and raid. I think I'm going to... I don't like it, but I'm going to activate Ranch A, and here's why. Because watch this. So I'm going to activate Ranch A. Oh no! I'm not going to get free action points because I need at least 2 guys. Oh, I thought I was going to get free action points. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm thinking. Sorry about the silence. This game has a lot of tough choices in it. I wasn't expecting another turn. And I don't know what I can do this turn to maximize my position for the passage of time or whatever comes next. I think I definitely want Ravage tokens to be out there. The problem is if I raid... Here, look at the cup. I mean, if I raid, I'm just going to be giving action points to the enemy. Look at all these action points out there. The fact that I drew a success the last time was a miracle. So I'm going to be giving all these action points to the enemy, and I don't want to. So I'm either going to plan, which... If I plan, it gives them a free action, because planning gives them a free action, and it reduces my units. I'm going to do a culture step. I'm just going to do a culture check. So we get 3 points. Ding, ding, ding. 1, 2, 3. We're up to 6 culture. And right now we're going to check for passage of time, which I don't think it matters what I roll because it's going to happen. So passage of time is happening next round. All right, so now we check for free actions. We have 2. If I roll 1, they get a free action. So that was a really good roll. Okay, next is we're drawing from the cup to give them actions this way. And we give them 2. Now you would think that's not enough, but they actually have 3 off the board, or off the camera here. So they actually have 5 actions, so they are gonna get to try to remove that Ravage token potentially. And it's a 6, so it's not gonna be the west. Cha-ching. All right, so that means it's actually the south, which usually never acts. So the south gets a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, their culture is flipping over. We like it. We like the pizza, Steve. Okay, so they have a peace action, which is pretty sweet. It costs 4, so we're gonna spend these 2, plus 2 off the board, so they're down to 1. And they're gonna do a peace action, which is fine by us. So now they're gonna be at peace with us. And we're gonna look at the south. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong one. We're not blue. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Hold on. This isn't blue, folks. It's green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still the culture one that flips over, so that's good. They're gonna do a subjugate, which doesn't hurt us at all. All it's going to do is remove a north tribe. So that's not bad. So we got this green dude here. He's going to subjugate, and so he's just getting rid of this. That tribe gets removed. Now, that is opening the door for them to get more settlements, you know, blah, blah, blah. But they're so far away from us right now, we're not too concerned about them. The only way they hurt us is with the culture step. Okay, now we reach the end. So war columns would activate if they existed. They don't. And then we have to do a passage of time. So let's do that. Passage of time. All bands become unfinished. So these guys out in the field, they're going to become unfinished. And then anything in here is going to become unfinished. I don't like that word unfinished. It makes me think there's something wrong with them. But actually it's good. They, you know, mark them fresh or something. Okay, so that's done. Now we can spend resource counters to create new bands. So in order to create a new band, it costs 1 point. So I'm going to spend 1 here in Ranch A. And I'll make change, and we're gonna create a 1 band there. So there's at least 2. I may want a 3rd one. I'm thinking about it. Okay, and then I'm looking at Ranch B, already has 2. Do I want to create a 3rd one? And my answer is yes. I'll spend a captive, and we'll put another strength 1 guy in Ranch B. And then in Ranch C, we definitely want to do it. And I'm going to create a 1 there. Now, I know I made change, and technically I don't think you're allowed to do that, but I'm not going to be keeping captives. It's just, I'm going to spend those captives. Don't worry, I'm spending the 2 points for the food. I don't know if I can split it across these 2 different things or how it works. So I'm not sure the rules explain that very well. Like, is there a half food that I can do? You know, that's only worth 1 point. I don't know. But it only costs me 1 point to do those things. Okay, so now we can spend points to increase the strength. And that's where the captives are going to go away. Because there was never a captive there in the first place. So I can't, you know, claim I had a captive. So I'm going to make that a 2 strength. And then this one up here is going away. And actually, this one had a bison, so I could have just spent a bison. And we got a 2 strength up there, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to spend 2 more food. Well, this gets interesting. I don't have any 2 strength guys left. So let's look around. These are both 2 strength. This guy's a 3 strength. This one has a captive with him. So we'll go ahead and spend the captive and make this guy a 3 strength. Warband. And this one doesn't have anything with him. So by making that a 3 strength warband, see, I want to spend a food, but I have two strength, or it's a 2 pop thing, and I don't have a 3 strength warband. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 4 food. 2 of it is because I wanted to create a second warband there, right? So that'll be 2 of the strength, and then a third one is I'm going to upgrade 1 to a 2, and then I have one population point left, and I don't think I can do anything with it. So I'm going to just have to forfeit it, because I don't think you can exchange a food for a captive. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe I can exchange a food for a bison, right? Because a bison is just 1. Yeah, but I hope you guys don't mind if I... did the rules cover this or not? I feel like I'm guessing here. So let's go to the place in the rules where this is described. Okay, so I'm seeing this in the rule. Oh, here we go. The player cannot make change with pop points. Pop points must equal or exceed the total cost. So you're not allowed to make change. So the fact that I had 1 extra pop point here doesn't matter because I made change 1 time, right? I did make change up above though. So what I'll do is I'm just going to spend his bison. So instead, and I think it works out. So yes, you can't make change. So if you have a 2 pop food and you only need to spend 1 pop, too bad, too sad. So that's fine. So we got a lot of bands out, and now let's keep going. Player may place 1 new rancheria into a space occupied by a lone band. Oh, you know what? I'm not allowed to place 2 rancherias. What kind of... Oh, what am I smoking? I'm only allowed to do 1. So that means I need to bring somebody back home. This Bob would not have been out. I'm sorry, folks. It just... I wouldn't have done that. He's just sitting out there on the plane. I'm only able to make 1 new rancheria. I can't do more than 1. So we're going to make Rancheria D in Colorado. So he's going to go here with this guy. And Rancheria B's Rob is there. So Rob is going to go back to B. B will go to 0. But this guy's going to be at 3. And this will also be at 3 because that's the strength of the unit. Okay, so sorry about that. We don't get to create 2 rancherias in 1. So my initial plan was wrong from the start. So, sorry. Now, this guy down here, Rancheria A, has way more units than I wanted. That's funny. But, you know, I can always just move them to another rancheria, stuff like that, so it'll work out. Okay. So now that we did that, we may voluntarily retire a Bob to move the Paribo up. So this Paribo is at 3. I can voluntarily retire this 6 strength Bob to move that up to a 6. It always seems great, but then the next turn we're going to roll a die to see if he gets ruined. And then this Bob here I could retire at 3 to move this up to a 3. I don't see any value in that, so I'll leave it be. Okay, so now that we did that, we then do a death check. Roll a die for each in play, excepting those that retired. If the die roll is greater than or equal to their medicine, no effect. If it's less than, then they die and his medicine is reduced to a value equal to that roll. My spirituality card does not protect me in this, so we're only rolling 1 die. Okay, so starting at Rancheria D, we have 2 of them. This is Bob at 3. So Bob got reduced to a 1. And then this is the Paribo, also reduced to a 1. Jesus. So D just got slaughtered. Okay, so then C is fine. The Paribo, also fine. Now we're at B, just the Paribo. I rolled a 3, he's fine. And then we are at A, and it's just the Paribo, and I need a 6. Anything lower than a 6 hurts me. I rolled a 3. So he's right back to the value he was to start with. See, that's the thing about this. It just drives me nuts. Okay, so we did all of that. This Headman death check, I would love a way to mitigate that. So now we're going to roll for every Bob that's at 0. So there's 2 of them. This is for B. I rolled a 5, so Bob's going to end up at a 2. And then this is for A. I rolled a 3, so Bob's going to end up at a 1. All right, so not very great Bobs there. And return all success counters. So let's do that right now. Done. Each tribe or settlement with a Ravage token is removed. So the yellow settlement is finally removed. Huzzah! So we were able to do that. We don't lose a military point. The North was able to remove theirs, so they don't get impacted. So keep going. Roll a die for each piece or ally. Okay, so where's a lot of rolling here? This is for ally 5. I rolled a 5. And it needed to be greater than, so we're okay. This one's a 3. I rolled a 1, so we're okay. And then I think there's, oh, that's it. Those are the 2. So that's done. We're going to put out a bison in zone 3, which is the Llana Estacado. Llana Estacado does have 1 blank space right here. So done. And now we discard all of our development cards. And like I said, before we check for victory conditions, we do draw 3 more. So let's do that. We could get a disease card, for example. And that's what I'm really concerned about because we haven't seen one yet. And there it is, Epidemic. When revealed, select 1 random map space in each territory. In each selected space, the band strength is -1. If it's a rancheria, all bands in the resource box remove any tribe counter. While in play, at the end of each take actions op, select 1 random map space, remove any tribe from that space. Jesus, that's okay. So it's a random, so that means we could roll an area that doesn't have any bands or anything, and we're fine. So, it only impacts us. Next one. Player may not trade in the west enemy space, nor with any west settlement for any reason. Okay, that hurts us a little. All development cards in the player's hand must be discarded. Discard this card, draw another card. That's brutal, because what if we had that movement point one? Boy, I'm glad we didn't buy that. Okay, and it says discard this card, draw another. So let's do that. Spend an AP during the operation for a headman action. Select one in play war column and the war ends. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we got to do this. So we're going to start in Region 1, Upper Arkansas. I rolled a 4 and oh shit, that's our Rancheria. All bands in the resource box. Oh my gosh. So we get a -1 and Rancheria A for all the bands, so this is killed. And then these two are reduced to 1 strength, so I'm going to put that there because the 3 goes away. And then two 1 strength. So actually, I remember I was telling you I thought I had too many. Well, there you go. So now we're going to go to Region 2. I rolled a 6, which is there. Region 3, a 5 is there. Region 4 is a 6. Region 4, 6. Oh my gosh, that's our Rancheria. So Region C got hit. So this guy dies, and this one gets reduced to a 1. And then Region Red River, I'm sorry, Colorado, Region 5 is a 6. That's the settlement. They're fine. And then the Rio Grande is a 2. And that is a tribe, and it says the tribe gets removed. So Indians get affected. Okay, so that hurt. Especially since now, right now, we're going to check to see if passage of time happens. And I rolled a 4, and it does. So we are now doing a victory check. So we're going to terminate this procedure, conduct a victory check. Otherwise, advance passage of time, and here we go. If victory check objective on in-play history card is not fulfilled, the player loses the game. If the player has fulfilled the victory check objective and it is not the final historical period of the scenario, go to step 2. Let's keep going, right? Why not? Remove the current history card from the game. Remove all development cards remaining from the game. Place the next history card in play. Resolve the when revealed. Place passage of time on the start space. And go to 3.4. Which, yes, we know about that. So everything just resets, right? Both the operation and that are going to reset to the top. And this history card was satisfied. Technically speaking, I had set out to do just this. So technically speaking, I quote won the scenario. Let's try the second one. I feel like some of this got ruined by the fact that you know, we missed that key rule about removing ravage counters, but let's keep going. So here, there is no win revealed. The Spain is still the enemy, but you can see it's a little more distributed evenly. So West is not going to be as aggressive. It is still the same check for ravage counters. The only difference is we don't have that special token anymore. And here, players must control 2 territories and have a Rancheria in a 3rd. So we actually have Rancherias in 4 territories, but we do not control 2 territories. We only control 1, Lower Arkansas. We're very close to controlling Upper Arkansas. So it is possible that we can do that. All right, so then, like it said, all the development cards go away. So that epidemic card really stunk because it killed all of our guys, and now it goes away. So the development 1 deck goes away, and now we grab the development 2 deck. And we're going to shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. and then draw 3. I think we're going to draw 3 and resolve that. So then we can do operations 3.4. So what's operations 3.4? That's where the enemy can do a free instruction, but only if we have finished bands, which we don't. And then we're going to do a success check and let the enemies do their instruction, and then the turn will end. Remember, the passage of time is actually happening in the middle of our turn, not at the end of our turn. So the enemies now get to do their instructions. Currently, they only have 1 action point. So if I draw a success from the cup, they're probably not going to get to execute anything. And then we will go to the top of the next round, which would be war columns, and there aren't any out there. So, all right. So with this being done, let's draw 3 and see what happens. Here's our first one. Comancheros. While in play, at the end of each planning operation, place 1 available trade good into any in-play Rancheria resource box. So we just get a free trade good anytime we do planning. I like Pizza Steve. Let's go to the next one. Spend 1 AP to take into hand. Play it before a raid. Regardless of success check result, the raiding band collects only 1 captive and 1 horse. Play only 1 ravage counter on the target space. I don't understand why this helps us. I guess if you're thinking you're not going to get 2 successes, so you get to just take 1 of each, and you place only 1 ravage counter. I thought you only place 1 ravage counter anyways. I guess you could place more. If you, and by the way, we missed the step where I get to buy a culture card. So don't let me forget that. Select 1 random map space in each territory, and each selected space to, oh, it's another epidemic. Come on. Then at the end of each take action, select 1 random space. Remove any tribe from that space or band is -1. The good news is it's just 1 space. This is 1 in each territory up here. All right, so we got to go through this again. So number 1, I rolled a 6. This time that did not affect us. Number 2, I rolled a 6. Did not affect us. Number 3, I rolled a 3. It does not affect anybody. Number 4, which is Red River. I rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't affect anybody. Number 5 is Colorado. I rolled a 2. Oh, that does affect somebody. Look at this. The tribe is destroyed. All right, number 6. I rolled a 3. It doesn't affect anybody. Okay, so I was going to buy a culture card, and then I'll end this video, and we can start a new one. This lets a Rancheria evade. I'm not as interested in that. I think we might want to start getting into diplomacy. During planning, flip, this just lets you peek, but the level 3 one, I can remove 1 piece or ally instruction from the display and place the counter. So I can basically force peace or allies in places. I have to wait 3 planning phases to be able to get it because I have to buy all 3 of these, but it's not a bad one. The politics one, during planning, we can move an allied tribe to an adjacent space. This is sort of nice because you can just move them like out of your region, right? And then that could possibly, you know, get you control of a region without having to fight. Here we can remove an allied tribe to stock. Instead of just moving them, I can just remove them. And then the allied instruction goes back into the instruction display. And then I even get a 2 strength band on top of it. And here I can spend a culture point before rolling. and I get to choose which enemy is going to take an action. This actually might be really nice, because how many times have we been sitting here hoping that a certain enemy doesn't activate so the Ravage token stays there? This might be worth shooting for. I like that one. And then the ones in between aren't so bad themselves. Now, as far as trade goes, this one lets me get guns. We can spend a bison, horse, or captive in order to take a trade good. It's not bad. And then every time we do a trade action, we gain a culture point just for doing it. Those are good. I think the spirituality ones we said were good. This gives us our headman action. And then when we try to do a headman action, we get to roll 2 dice instead of 1. It's okay. 4 Ravage counters, destroys the tribe or settlement immediately. Movement point while in the same space as a war column to reveal the war deck. Then this lets me manipulate the question marks, which don't even exist yet in the game. The warfare ones I thought were weak. During take actions, we can spend movement points equal to our strength, and then we have to also pass a success check. And for every success drawn, we place a Ravage. So this is a nice way to be able to place more than one Ravage counter, which is actually what I want to do, right? That's been what I've been complaining about. So I can put more than one Ravage counter on, but it costs me movement points equal to my strength. You know what? There is where the 1 strength guy is becoming handy. So you spend 1 movement point, which is the same cost as a raid. You do a success check, which if you have a strong Bob, you may get to draw more than 1 token. If you get a success, we get to place a Ravage counter. For every success drawn, we get to place a Ravage counter. I would need a strong Bob to make that work. During a raid or warpath, while making a success check, the player may draw 1 extra counter. Okay, so these two together actually are really nice, in which at least 1 success is drawn. The player may place 1 bonus Ravage counter on the target during step 3. See, this is only during raid or warpath. This is a special... Oh, this action is called warpath. Okay. I actually like the warfare ones now. Now that I understand them better, they combo really well. So you need all 3 of them before it becomes valuable. So I'm going to spend 1 culture point and get warfare level 1. And so that drops our culture down to 5. Okay, end of video. I hope you find it mildly helpful. And yes, thank you. I've been playing this wrong, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to put a comment on video 1 just to let people know who come to this series that I missed something very important. In fact, I might even do I'm going to do a quick recording and add it to my playlist. So I will do that. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay awesome.